Hello everybody and welcome to a tutorial showing you how to make these YouTube banners on Gimp, which is completely free. It's like Photoshop, a bit more basic, but yeah, you can make banners like this 100% free. And before we start, I do want to say that I'm not a professional at this. I haven't even been doing it that long, so I won't be too technical about it, and yeah, I'm not that great. But hopefully you'll be able to achieve something similar to this maybe, but you can do whatever design you like. So the first thing you want to do is actually install Gimp. It's completely free. If you just type in free Gimp download, then you can download it, and it's all legit, so you don't have to really worry about any of that. Once you've installed and opened Gimp, you want to click File, New, and then this box will pop up, and you want to put the width in as 2560 and the height as 1440, and then hit OK. And this will give you the area in which we're going to create the banner. You want to then head over to the internet, go on YouTube banner template on images, and click probably this top left one is fine, and you just want to copy that, and it should be the same dimensions there as that you entered in. Go back into Gimp and just paste that in. If you go over here to the layers tab, then you can right click and click to new layers. That's its own layer now. Then we want to get the borders sorted out. So what you want to do is, this might help if you do this first of all. Drag these ruler lines down. You can zoom in if it helps. You can just control and then zoom. And these will help you when you actually come to design it, so you know where the borders are and where not to go over. So we're going to bring these down just to the edges here, and we'll do the same on this side too. Okay, so once that's sorted out, you want to go to the rectangle select, and we want to get rid of these borders. So if we just go like that, try to get as accurate as you can, but doesn't matter too much if you get it off. Got that again. Then we want to fill these in just black with the fill tool here on the left. Oh, then we want to select where they are. So like that, and fill. Okay, next we want to sort out this actual center part where we're going to have the design. So we want to select that bit next with the select tool again. Click delete, and that will be gone. I want to go with a similar color design as we went with the last one. So what we want to do is click on this tool. This is the blend tool. It's basically for color gradients. Then we want to go to Windows, Dockable Dialogues, and click Tool Options. Then go to this part here which says Linear, and go to Radial, and that will give more of a circular glowing out effect. Then this is where you can choose whatever colors you want. I'm going to go over orange and black because I used that on the past one and it looks pretty good. Then you can just play about with this and get it to whatever kind of shape and stuff that you want. I think that's fine for me. It's quite centered. It's not perfect, but that's fine because it will all get blended in and stuff as we progress through. So now what you want to do is grab the text tool and drag this. I'm going to use my name as just an example of what you can put. So I'm just going to put Kieran there, and you want to make it pretty big because you want this to stand out. That should be fine. And then I'm going to go to the tool options again, and I'm going to select a font that I downloaded, and I'll leave a link in the description where you can go and download loads of fonts and stuff, especially ones which will help out with banner creating. Right, that is absolutely fine, that size, and we want to go to the move tool and center that as best as we can. Yep, that should be fine. Then what we want to do is go over to the tabs, the layer tab, right click on our text and go down to alpha to selection. That will select that. Then right click on it again, new layer, and we'll call this now we'll call this background, and you'll see why in just a sec. Background. Then once we're on this layer, you want to go to select, grow, and do that to about probably about 6. As you can see, it's grown a selection around it. And then we want to fill this in with plain black. You can change up the colours and stuff depending on what you want. And that should overlap the whole thing. So we want to move this down. We can move this layer down by dragging it, or you can use this little button here, which will move it behind. And as you can see, there's now this outline on the text there, but we're not going to use this as an outline. We're going to use this as a kind of shadow. So I'm going to grab the move tool again, grab onto a bit of the black, and as you can see, as I pull this away, depends what angle you go for, it creates this 3D shadow effect, which personally I think works really well with these designs here. So let's take a look at that, and if you use the select tool and you can click off it, you can see what it actually looks like. I'm pretty happy with that. All I want to do now is actually change the colour of the text. So we want to go back to our text layer which says Kieran. Then you can right click, alpha to selection, that's selected that again. And I want a metallic kind of look. So when we need to go to the gradient tool again. Then we want to go, I'm going to go with a grey and a white. And you can do whatever colours and stuff that you like, so feel free to just pause this and change up the colours. We want to go back onto this tool options, go from radial to linear, because this is where it's more lines rather than this glowing circle. And again, you might want to play around with this until you get something that you quite like. In fact, quite like that, and as you can see, it gives that quite metallic finish to it. And while this is still selected, we want to go to select, grow. We'll grow it by about 4. Zoom in by holding control and then the zoom wheel. And then we want to fill that. And then we want to go click black. And just fill that in. And then there's just a bit of an outline on it anyway. And it just helps it stand out. As you can see, that's what we've got so far. Okay, so now that's done, we're going to add in a bit more detail now. So we want to add in some diagonal lines. You can like change up whatever design that you want really. But I feel like these diagonal lines actually split it up and make it look quite nice. So we want to go over to here where there's the different line selections. I'm going to actually select this one. That's like what the brush actually is. As you can see, it's just basically this brush tool. In fact, let me try this other one. Yeah, that one's probably going to work a little better. But as you can see, if I click that, it's not a big line at all. It's really small. So we're going to change that by going back into the tool options, and you can change the size and all that of it as well. Okay, now what we want to do is create some lines on this. So we're going to do this by, first of all, making a new layer. We'll call this one line. It doesn't really matter where it is in the selection at the moment. In fact, we'll bring it all the way up to the top there, just so we know it's the one we're on. And you want to select one of your brushes here. So go on the brushes, then over to here. You can select which one. You can make this a diagonal line by going to the tool options and changing all of this stuff about. So the angle of it, the width of it, and all that until you get a shape that you want. So I'm going to use this diagonal line. I'm going to put one in the corner here. I just feel like these lines help break it up a little. Then we're going to go back to it. We're going to flip it around by putting a minus in front of there. And that should just flip it around completely. And then put one there as well. In fact, let me try that one again. Let's make this one a little more accurate there. That should be fine. In fact, let me try one more time. Yeah, that one's a little better. Right, so we can close that now. Go on to our new made layer. Right click on that, alpha to selection. As you can see, just these two have been selected. So we can go back onto the gradient tool and go onto grey and white. And if we just pull that going up the top there, it again looks similar to that metal finish we've got on the text as well. So it kind of matches up and looks pretty good. So we just click off there. We can have a look, see what it looks like so far. You can, if it's overlapping a little bit, you can just select the part and go ahead and delete it. I'm going to actually delete just this little part here. So go like that. And we can do the same on this side. Don't have to be mega accurate with this because it will all be very hard to see in the finished product. Anyway, so we've got this so far, which looks good, but we want to kind of add a little more, just more detail into it, make it a bit more interesting. So you want to add in pictures or more text. Because I play a lot of Minecraft and do like a lot of Minecraft videos, let's try by adding in a Minecraft picture into one of these sides. So we're going to go back on Google Images and type in whatever picture you want. I'm going to do a creeper for this. As you can see, there's loads of different ones to choose from. Let's see what one would work well. Probably something like this, but we don't want to use one which is PNG, so it's got this checkered background on it. We want to try and find one which is just a solid picture. A lot of these are PNG, so once you've found a decent one, then you can use it. Okay, we're going to use this person's drawing here. It's best to always get permission to ask things, but I'm not actually going to use this. So what we want to do is copy that image and then paste it into here. And as you can see, it's still got all the white background, but we can sort that out by firstly dragging it with the move tool into the position you want. So I'm going to put mine here. And if we click the scale tool, click on that, you can resize it and stuff. In fact, as you can see, it's not very, the aspect ratio doesn't keep the same. So if we cancel that, go into the tool options again, and you can say tick that to keep the aspect ratio. So we can just scale that down. Hopefully that should fit in there now. Let's take a look. Let's scale that down just slightly more. That's fine. Drag that in. And then what we want to do is go over to this little loop tool. And you want to zoom in. And just trace around the edge here. Once you've traced around the whole thing and you've linked up, then you want to right click and click edit copy, and then you can get rid of this image by just selecting it and pressing delete, and then you can just paste it back in because you've already copied the cut image. And as you can see, it'll say floating selection. Just click to new layer, and there you've got your creeper to move around. Right, so we'll just put it there for the time being. As you can see, it doesn't really fit in with the theme of things. So we just bring it over here again, zoom out. Once we've got our creeper layer selected, click this drop down menu. There's all these different effects you can put on it. So if you just go through all of these, in fact that looks really nice like that. If you just go through all of these, you can find lots of different things. So that one's called dodge, addition, darken only. As you can see, all of these provide different effects that you can use on the images, and a lot of them, yeah, like that, will come out with very different things. You can change it around. In fact, that looks pretty cool, like that, some kind of fiery creeper. I might actually keep that. Let's see, that one's called divide, this one's called dodge. We'll keep the fiery one, I think. So once you've got that, you can have other images in as well, depending on what you want. You can add in as many images as you want. You just need to repeat that same kind of process. You're probably going to want to add in your Twitter or your Instagram or your Facebook. So we're going to do that now. We're going to head back over to Google, type in the Twitter bird. This is if you're doing it for Twitter. You can do it like type in Facebook logos and stuff as well. And just choose one, for example this one. Copy that. And we want to paste that back in to a new layer. As you can see, it's got that background, but we can get rid of that pretty easily. But first of all, we want to scale it down. So this one's got to be pretty small. And where should we put this? We can have it here, I suppose. Sometimes it's best if you can move the whole text up, and it gives us a little bit more room for the whole Twitter things to go in. So if we put that there, in fact we can make this a tiny bit smaller, and then we can zoom in, and if you click this tool, it says fuzzy select tool, that will just get rid of, well, it will select one colour. So once you've clicked on the white, click delete, do it on this side, click delete. As you can see, there is that little white outline on this, so you can get rid of that pretty simply by getting the eraser tool. And actually we need to find a decent sized brush. Yeah, so make sure you've got a good brush for this, and I'm going to actually scale this brush down a little. So we want to scroll that down, we want to select that, and we want to zoom in and erase the edge. You can make the brush a little bigger actually to make it a bit more effective, but you can just go around the edge like that. It doesn't need to be anything too fancy, it just takes the edge off it. Okay, so now you got your new logo. You can just put this wherever you want. I mean, probably about there would be fine. We're going to add some new text in, so we want to drag that across. Be careful not to click on the already made text. And we'll put my Twitter in, so we go at Kieran's Xbox, and it's already got that same font on it, so we can bring this up a little bit and then scale that and move it around till we find where it actually fits. And we can probably have this right under here. It looks like it's kind of tucked underneath the original design. I quite like that actually, like that. Yeah, that works pretty nicely, but you have to, depends on what font you use, you know, you have to make your own kind of designs up, but this one works pretty well. On this I kind of want an outline on it, so you just want to go over to the layers menu, find your text, right click, alpha to selection, select, grow, we'll do by 4, zoom in, make sure you've got black selected, and that should do the outside. You can then fill in, you know, bits like this, but it depends, you know, how detailed you actually want to go with it. Okay, what I'm going to do next is, because of my, you know, Minecraft videos and stuff, I'm going to have a textured kind of background faded into this. So we're going to go over to Google Images again, and I'm going to do Minecraft stone wall. And we want to find, in fact we want to go Minecraft stone texture. You can do textures which aren't on Minecraft. You can do like wood texture, stone texture, and whatever really you want to fit in. As you can see, this image looks quite good, so I'm going to copy that, and we're going to paste this in to a new layer. Okay, now we're going to make this faded into the background. So we want to go over to here, make sure it's selected, go down to the drop box, and find overlay. And as you can see, that brings it onto the background, but it's kind of overlapping the text, so you can send that down multiple layers till wherever it's suitable. As you can see, like that, looks pretty nice. Okay, next we're going to want to add some kind of filter over the top of it to just add even more design. So because this is like quite orangey, it looks like some kind of fire going on, we're going to go over here and we're going to type in fiery ashes. As you can see, I've already typed this in before, so we're going to want to choose one which will look pretty good. This one would work quite well. What others are there? This one looks like it would work well. Yeah, as long as it's got like a plain background, then it should work. Just want to copy that and go back in there, paste again to a new layer, and then move and resize this. You might want to take the keep aspect thing off it. So if we scale that and go and uncheck that box, that should allow us to stretch it out to a bit differently. So let's see, that works like that. We want to move that up just slightly, and again go over to the right hand side, click this little arrow, click overlay, and as you can see, it overlays this fiery ash effect onto it, and again drop that down until you think it looks okay. So I think that looks okay like that. Okay, so once you've added in that kind of filter thing, it's totally up to you what you want to do now. You can add in more filters. You can do this thing called type in dust on lens and do the same method we did, and that can add more effects over it. The last thing you want to do as well is go file and export it, and you can just export it as whatever you want. But this is the basic way of creating a nice banner. Like, I'd probably use that. It looks really good. It's got that fiery effect. It's got this fiery creeper. You can add in Facebook, Twitter, more images, more text, all sorts of things. But I hope this short little video has helped out. If you've got any questions, make sure to put them down in the comment section, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. And if you want to see any more kind of videos like this, I can do ones on how to create a logo for your channel or for Twitter, or maybe an updated version of this in some time to come. But yeah, make sure you let me know your thoughts on the video down below. Thanks very much for watching, people, and until next time, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and stay tuned for more, and I'll see you later.